All right, everybody, the very large crowd that we have, welcome to the November 3rd, 2025 Jackson Township Planning Board meeting. This year is going entirely way too quick. This meeting has been properly noticed according to the Open Public Meetings Act and all the appropriate forums and places, and I'll leave it off to Madam Chairwoman.
We'll have a roll call, please.
Mr. Brezzi. Mr. Marzo. Mr. Heller.
Here.
Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Mr. Tremor. Ms. Rose. Mr. Weingart.
Here.
Mr. Sullivan. Dr. Campbell.
Here.
Ray? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know that we need it.
Did Ray confirm that he was going to be here, or?
No, he didn't.
No, okay. We have a majority, so we're okay.
I don't know if we need an executive session.
Executive session is going to be up to you, depending on, I have everything prepped and ready to go.
Well, let's just do it.
Yeah.
All right. Approval of the minutes. Motion, please.
Motion, Heller?
Mr. Brezzi. Yes. Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Weingart.
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes. We have a change to the agenda schedule, application for Block 5301, Lot 12 for 146 North County Line Road, LLC, is carried from tonight to December 1st, 2025, with notice required. Will someone make a motion, please?
Motion, Heller?
On roll call.
Please.
Mr. Brezzi. Yes. Mr. Heller.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Weingart.
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Oh.
We have an ordinance?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
no?
Could we do the voucher as well, please?
We'll do.
The payment for the voucher,
Oh,
for my
payment-
voucher?
Oh, did I
Thank
miss
you.
it? I thought I did it first. Okay, payment for voucher for recording secretary. We'll take a motion, please.
Second, Heller?
Mr. Brezzi. Yes. Mr. Heller.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Weingart.
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes, and we have an ordinance?
Yes, we do. All right, everybody, we got a consistency review for ordinance 2025-40, and I will leave that up to the planner or the board to make a determination as to whether it's consistent or not with the master plan.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We don't have speakers, so we really have to get close to the mic tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
It appears this ordinance draft to the planning board deals with the residential use requirements in the HCMU, Highway Commercial Mixed Use Zone. And it specifies the maximum number of dwelling units, including affordable units, are 4 acres, 4 units per net acre dedicated to residential use. So it appears to be a clarification of a previous ordinance revision. I do not know if it came out of the master plan subcommittee or not, but it would appear to be consistent with both the master plan that was in effect when the HCMU zone was created and the master plan that was adopted this summer.
So it is not inconsistent.
Correct.
Yes.
Any recommendations? That's just, it's not inconsistent.
Yes, our recommendation is that it is not inconsistent with the township master plan.
Anyone have any questions about that? Okay, then we need a motion to adopt.
I'll make a motion to adopt because it's consistent with the master plan.
Second that motion, Heller?
We'll have a roll call vote.
Mr. Brezzi.
Yes.
Mr. Heller.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Weingart.
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes. All right. Agenda, block, miscellaneous legal matters?
Just procedural issues that we need to discuss in executive session.
So I'll take a motion to adjourn to executive session, please.
Motion?
Second, Heller?
Gentlemen, it should not be too long. We booked a room.
Sal, if you want to set up by the time that we get out, you can, yeah.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll just wait for a minute. Good. We just moved us out of executive session. So, do we have to postpone this? We- The North County Line Road? Did we? We moved it, yes. Yep, we did. Okay. Mr. Alfieri, welcome.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Salvatore Alfieri on behalf of the applicant. This application is for a three-story, 16,500 square foot.
We have no speakers today, so
16, better?
That's better.
16,500 square foot, three-story office building. I have reports from your engineer dated October 22nd and the planner October 29th. We have three witnesses that we have: our engineer/planner, an architect, and traffic engineer that we're going to call tonight, hopefully.
thank you.
And we're ready to go when you are, Madam Chair.
You ready?
Yep. All right.
Nice and close.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Rod Ritchie. What did you say?
And your credentials?
So I work for Dynamic Engineering. You want me to go through in the qualifications? Okay.
Please.
So I have a Bachelor's of Science, Master's of Science in Civil Engineering from Lehigh University. I am a registered professional planner and professional engineer in the state of New Jersey. Engineer since 2002, planner since 2004. So at this point, I've got about 25 years of design experience in the land development industry. I've been accepted as an expert in the field of civil engineering and testified before many other boards in the state of New Jersey.
Welcome.
Thank
The
you.
board
Accept
accepts
your
your credentials?
Thank you. And Madam Chair, we submitted and had pre-marked 8 exhibits that we'll refer to at some point. Anthony has them as well. So, Rod, why don't you begin, please?
Great. I'm going to stand, if that's all right. So the parcel is block 20901, lot 15, as highlighted in yellow there.
Before you, is that Exhibit A1?
That is Exhibit A1 as marked in the upper left-hand corner.
Thank
See
you.
that up there. The property is 30 South Hope Chapel Road, which is County Route 547. And at the intersection of South Hope Chapel Road and Garden Street, which is a private drive, that yellow parcel is at the northwest corner of that intersection. So for everybody's orientation, north is to the right of the page. This is a 1.13 acre property. The existing zoning is RGC2, the regional growth commercial, where the permitted uses in this zone are the same as the PVC2 Pinelands Village commercial, and office is a permitted use within this zone. The existing property, you can't see it too well on this aerial, but it is in a previously developed property with an existing, now vacant, but it was a residential dwelling with several other garage accessory buildings. To the north, just to, again, to sort of orient you folks to the site, to the north, again, that's to the plan right. There are other commercial and retail uses with Veterans Highway beyond. Veterans Highway, you can see there, is running top of the page to the bottom of the page on the right-hand side. To the east is an existing retail shopping center, which is across South Hope Chapel Road from the site. And to the west and the south of the property are existing residential dwellings. As I mentioned, the site is currently developed, or previously developed, is currently vacant. But a couple things to note. There are some existing paved areas on the site. To the south, on the south side of the site, the pavement, the edge of the pavement is approximately 9 feet from the property line. And on the north side, the edge of pavement is approximately 2.1 feet from the north property line. And that's important because I'm going to show you, when we get to the proposed conditions, how we're improving those conditions. Those are existing non-conforming conditions, and we're going to increase those setbacks from the gravel areas. There are 3 existing points of access onto South Hope Chapel Road from the site. There are currently no access points to Garden Street, and again, that's a private drive, not a public right-of-way, so we intend to maintain that condition. The property, as I mentioned, does front on South Hope Chapel Road, and that's where we will plan to propose access to the site. The topography on the property generally slopes from South Hope Chapel Road to the south and west corner of the property, and we intend to maintain those existing drainage patterns. The site is not located within a flood hazard area. There are no existing wetlands on the site. We did do a phase 1, which indicated the presence of a former auto repair operations, and so we did a phase 2, and that included soil sampling, and the results indicated no exceedances of DEP soil remediation standards. So for those reasons, we're requesting a waiver from an EIS, as we expect there to be no negative impact as a result of this development. And we can get into that more as we talk about the proposed conditions. So can we switch to Exhibit A2, which is a rendering, colored rendering of the site plan that was submitted as part of the application, as well as the landscaping included on that plan as well. So as I mentioned, or as was described, this is a proposed 3-story office building with a total gross floor area of approximately 16,500 square feet. The proposed building is located within the center of the site and does comply with the building setbacks required by the ordinance. And again, just to compare that to the existing conditions, there is one existing 1-story garage that's located approximately 57.5 feet from the western property line. And this proposed building is set back approximately 96 feet from that property line. So we're increasing the separation of building from the western property line. The proposed building is 38 feet, where 35 feet is the max allowed by ordinance. So we are seeking a variance for the building height. And I'm arriving at 38 feet as the vertical distance measured from the average elevation of the finished grade at all corners of the building to the highest point of the roof for flat roofs.
You said 38 foot, 38 foot?
Yes.
Okay.
We are proposing to raise the grades on the site, and so that will require some imported fill, and the applicant does agree to comply with the provisions of Chapter 364, which regulates soil and fill importation. Even with the fill, we intend to maintain the majority of the overland flow direction, with the proposed stormwater running through a new drainage collection system and ultimately to an proposed underground infiltration basin designed to meet the state stormwater rules and requirements. That system does include a manufactured treatment device to handle water quality from the runoff generated from the proposed motor vehicle surfaces. And the remainder of the site is mostly pervious open space around the perimeter that will generally flow off-site via overland flow to the south and west, similar to the existing drainage patterns. There are some areas along the perimeter where we are proposing 3-to-1 slopes and low retaining walls, generally less than 3 feet, that are required to make up that grade along the perimeter. And we are requesting design waivers for those conditions. But we believe those are pretty typical grading conditions that we run into pretty regularly. We are proposing 75 spaces and 8 EV parking spaces on the site. You can see those generally underneath the building in the center of the site, and then the spaces are located around the perimeter. We are proposing a 9x18 stall size. Where the ordinance requires 83 spaces, we're proposing 75 physical spaces, but we get 1 credit for each of those 8 EV spaces, and therefore demonstrate compliance with the parking requirements. The ordinance does state that parking spaces should not use the main circulation aisle. However, on this site, the main circulation aisle is the parking area. So for that reason, we would request a waiver from that provision of the ordinance. And I think that provision of the ordinance is really intended more toward a commercial retail site, which this is not. I mean, this will be an small office building where the people that use the site are going to be familiar with the layout. Turnover is low, and the traffic volume is generally low as well. And again, similar thing, the landscaped islands, the internal landscaped islands, ordinance requires a width of 10 feet. We're proposing less than 10 feet for the landscaped islands. And again, it's in order to be able to fit the required number of spaces on the site. And we still believe there's adequate space to plant a tree there in those islands.
Yeah, my apologies, I should have qualified this before. You're testifying as both an engineer and a planner,
I am.
correct? Yeah.
Trying to hit all those points. Okay. We are proposing a single ingress and egress along the frontage of South Hope Chapel Road with 2-way circulation throughout the site. You can see there in the bottom right-hand corner, which is the northeast corner of the site on the site rendering, the proposed driveway entrance.
Circulation plan.
Again, that entrance, that driveway condition obviously will have to be reviewed and approved by Ocean County. Entrances, there's a provision in the ordinance that says entrances should extend 100 feet into the site where 40 feet here is proposed, and exit drive should extend 60 feet where 50 feet is proposed here. Both lengths here are decreased due to the depth of the lot, but we believe there's still plenty of room for vehicles to circulate the site and provide for adequate stacking. And again, for the same reasons I mentioned before, this is not a typical retail commercial site where the general public may be coming here and not familiar with the layout, whereas these folks are going to be coming here every day and know their way around. And I don't think the volume will be so high that we're going to be concerned about stacking. So again, some waivers there for those provisions are required. We will be providing a site triangle easement in accordance with the Ocean County site triangle requirements. The minimum, we are proposing to meet the minimum drive aisle width of 24 feet. In most places throughout the site, there is one small pinch point there at the northwest corner of the building where we have 21.4 feet proposed, but there is also a hatched area that can be used for turning movements, and if a vehicle needs to back out of one of those spaces there at the northwest corner of the building. We are proposing ADA-compliant sidewalks along the frontage of the building and throughout the site, as well as ADA connection to the ADA spaces along the front there, adjacent to South Hope Chapel Road. There is not a specific loading area proposed here, as we don't expect major deliveries. I mean, the deliveries that we would expect here are typical of a typical FedEx or UPS delivery. The largest vehicle we would expect here is like a van or even possibly a box truck. We're proposing a 10 by 20 masonry trash enclosure. It'll be a combined trash and recycling enclosure. It is 6.7 feet from the northern property line where 10 feet is required. And that's on the northern side. You can see sort of that light gray triangle just to the northwest corner of the building there. And the area surrounding the trash enclosure should also be landscaped, where we have some landscaping on the left-hand side, but no landscaping is proposed on the north side because of a retaining wall that we have to include there. And it is adjacent to another commercial use, so not sure the benefit of a landscape buffer there or the need for it. We do need some bulk variances for the parking areas. The rear yard parking setback requirement is 20 feet, where we're proposing 18.6 feet. And as I mentioned earlier, when I was talking about the existing conditions on the site, there is gravel and broken asphalt, a gravel and broken asphalt parking area that does extend all the way to the existing fence along that western property line, almost right up to the edge. So we are proposing to improve that condition by planting and landscaping that 18.6 feet, but it is less than what is required, and so we therefore are requesting that variance. And in two other similar conditions, the side yard parking setback along Garden Street, again, is 20 feet, and here we're proposing 9.6 feet, where the existing paved drive is approximately 9 feet from Garden Street. So we are increasing that distance slightly. And on the north side, 10 feet is required for a side yard parking setback along a commercial property. 2.1 feet separates the northern property line from the existing paved drive that's there now, and we're proposing a separation of 9.6 feet, slightly less than what's required, so we need a need variance for that. We are proposing a lighting plan that is generally complies with the Illuminating Engineering Society standards. We believe we're proposing a plan that provides adequate lighting for safety, security, and looks to minimize off-site glare. We are proposing an average of 0.72 foot candles throughout the parking area. Max is 1.4. There are a few areas where it is a minimum of 0.2 foot candles, but that's underneath the building. Those spaces that you see, I probably didn't describe this carefully enough when I was talking about the parking, but those spaces that are right against the building are actually underneath the building. The first floor, the first story, is that dark orange rectangle in the middle. There's sidewalk on either side of that main structure on the first floor, and then there's a canopy. The 2 stories above are above those parking spaces that you see there.
Excuse me, those are EV parking spaces up against the building?
They are shown that way on the site plan, but we intend to correct that.
We are moving them.
We are moving them, yes,
Good.
yes. But that's where those lower light levels are, just because they're underneath the building. So for that reason, we're requesting some waiver relief for the minimum foot candles. Talk about the landscaping for the site. We're proposing 36 total trees, 86 total shrubs, some additional grasses, ground cover, and for a total planting of 218 new plants. We do need a design waiver for the minimum residential buffer screen where 25 feet is required. Currently, there's no buffer along that western property line, and approximately 9 feet, again, to the edge of that paved drive on the southern side. So we're proposing 9.6 feet along the south and 18.6 feet along the west with a substantial landscaped area. And we do intend to keep the existing board-on-board privacy fence. Public water is available within South Hope Chapel Road. We intend to connect to the existing water main there for water surface, same with gas and electric. And sanitary sewer will be ultimately a public sewer connection. We're in the process of designing that sewer upgrade, and we are proposing to run across South Hope Chapel Road to tie into that existing public sewer system. We are proposing one compliant monument sign along South Hope Chapel Road in accordance with the sign requirements, no closer than 5 feet from the property line, and it will meet the area and height requirements. We didn't include it with our site plan application package, but we'd like to add that to the application this evening, along with one compliant building-mounted sign. The ordinance does allow for one monument sign and one building-mounted sign, and we'd like to include both of those.
And that monument sign will just have the street address. It's not going to advertise the occupants of the building, correct?
That's right, yes.
Just the number?
Yeah. And I know it's something the board has consistently asked for. That's why we're offering it tonight.
Fire department likes the number.
Correct. Understood.
So, as I mentioned, the applicant is requesting C variances for the side yard parking setbacks, where 20 feet from a residential use is required, where 9.6 is proposed on the south and 18.6 proposed on the west side of the site, where 10 feet from a non-residential use is required, and 9.6 is proposed on the north side of the site, and a height variance where 35 feet is the max and 38 feet is proposed. The applicant is requesting the variances because based on the dimensions of the existing lot and the proposed layout, they are not able to comply with the bulk requirements, and this lot is existing. It's not part of a proposed subdivision, so the lot dimensions are set. The proposed conditions are an improvement over existing conditions, where the existing drive is 9 feet from the southern property line and 2.1 feet from the northern property line. The height variance is a small increase over the max allowable and allows the applicant the ability to build the 3-story building he needs to make the project work. And this applicant is looking to redevelop the existing site for the purposes of building a permitted use in the town, which is a benefit to the surrounding area. The design seeks to mitigate the impacts of the relief by maintaining an existing privacy fence and proposing over 200 total plantings on the site. And in my opinion, the granting of the requested variances would advance purposes A, C, E, G, I, and M of the municipal land use law. And in my opinion, the benefits of this application outweigh any detriments. So in summary, the use is a permitted use. It does fit in with the surrounding commercial development. We are proposing an aesthetically pleasing site design and building. And finally, I would say that we will work with the board's professionals to address any technical comments not addressed in the testimony.
I have a few follow-ups.
Sure.
First of all, are we proposing a sidewalk on South Hope Chapel Road?
Yes, we are. Sorry if I missed that.
And you mentioned the Ocean County Planning Board as one of the outside agency approvals along with utilities. Can you just update the board on the status of the Pinelands application?
Yes, we have submitted an application for a certificate of filing to the Pinelands. We did receive an incomplete letter, I believe, that had one issue to address with our stormwater design, which we are in the process of addressing. We're essentially going to have to over-excavate and remove some of the material. Their comment dealt with permeability, so we're going to have to replace, actually, we're going to have to replace soils that drain too well with soils that have a lower permeability rate in order to meet their requirement. And then the other issue was the question about public sewer. And as I stated earlier, we're proposing a connection to the public sewer.
And you mentioned that you would address the technical comments in the board professional reports. If the board were to grant this approval, you would agree that all of their technical comments would be addressed?
Yes.
There's one question in Mr. Peters' report about a mailbox. How is the mail handled? Is there a mailbox itself, or the postman comes to the building? Do you know?
I believe the postal service would deliver to the front door.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no separate mailbox or anything that's
No,
proposed
not-
outside the building?
Right, not at this time.
Okay.
No.
I believe that's all we have of this professional, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Peters?
Madam Chair. Mr. Ritchie, thank you for your testimony. I'm going to ask some questions, and Mr. Alfieri may tell me someone else is going to answer them. There was a submitted statement of operations.
Yes.
Discuss that at all?
We could. You want us to summarize the statement of operations, or you want us to just say? Okay, so it's a general office building. It says the hours are going to be Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but some of the office hours might extend beyond that. There are no tenants currently identified, except that the applicants will be the largest user of the building, but for obvious reasons, it's hard to rent something until you have approvals and you're ready to build. The parking standards we'll get into with our traffic engineer. He'll explain the parking and the number of truck traffic trips. And trash removal, I think you covered already, correct? It's private pickup?
Right, I may not have said that, but yes, I was talking about the trash enclosure, but yeah, the pickup will be by private hauler and probably 1 to 2 times per week, depending on the need.
So respectfully, I'm back to the comment, the first comment in the statement. It seems like a disclaimer from an attorney.
I didn't write it, though, so.
Fair enough, then I'll ask Mr. Ritchie about it. I'm trying to understand how the board feels about, we asked for a statement of operations, and the statement starts out by saying, the information provided in the summary statement of operations serves as a general guideline only, is not intended to limit the flexibility of the proposed use or businesses. I think that requires some explanation
Some
for the record.
specificity. What's the business?
The business is general office, and there
No
is,
group meetings.
I'm sorry?
No group meetings. No groups.
Okay.
Can we stipulate that, Mr.
I'm not,
Alfieri?
I don't, how do you define, what do you mean, like a group?
No large groups
Well, because it's
will
not a,
meet there. It'll be office
So,
building.
so
they're not therapists or anything where you would have therapy sessions because it's non-medical, so.
Non-medical.
Right,
right.
so it's general. Where's that coming from?
Not me. Must be you. Nope.
Um,
there are.
It's just general office space, so.
Okay.
If you want us to stipulate no group meeting, I can't even imagine a use that has group meetings. Like, I have an office that would be permitted there. If I have a closing, there might be 8 people that come to a closing.
Right.
I don't consider that a group meeting, so that's why
Just
I'm
trying to
trying.
understand how to take that comment and give it to the zoning officer when we're done.
Well, it's going to be, it's a permitted use, right? So the issue is, as long as it's office space that's not medical, then it's permitted. The hours of operation are general hours of operation. If I have a meeting at my office at 8 o'clock, I don't think that would be violative of the hours of operation. We're just giving you general hours. Beyond that, I mean, if we're a use variance, then I think a lot more specificity would be required, but we're just general office space, so.
We would concur that the uses that are indicated or proposed, that are proposed are permitted in the zone. Mr. Ritchie, you gave some testimony about the EIS waiver, said that there were Phase 1 and Phase 2 studies performed.
Yes.
I don't recall seeing them in the submission documents. Are they available? Can they be submitted as a condition of the approval for the board's record?
Yes.
As it relates to the planning testimony, a lot of your testimony seemed to center around the existing conditions. The existing conditions out there are the existing house, correct?
There's nothing. It's empty.
Well, it used to be an existing house.
Yeah.
So my question was, is you're relying upon, you said, well, there's an existing setback, do you know if any of those existing conditions have approvals, to the best of your knowledge?
I can't say for sure, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we Oprah, every time we start an application, records from the town, there's nothing in there that really, there's really no history for the zoning, because that house must have been, I don't know how old it must
I
have
just
been.
want the board to understand if a homeowner
Right.
decided to widen a driveway and didn't get a permit, I'm not sure if that meets the standard for a variance for you not to provide parking in the location that's required in the ordinance.
The intent in my testimony was simply to represent what's out there today and what we're proposing and how those two compare.
I don't disagree. I didn't hear a lot about the proofs for the height variance. Are we going to get some testimony from the architect?
The architect's going to,
There's no existing condition related to, so I understand, I got an idea about what kind of testimony we're going to get, but from a variance perspective, I think we're going to need to hear something about why you need a height variance when 35 feet is permitted.
well, we'll let the architect first describe the height and why it's proposed, and then we can bring Mr. Ritchie back if necessary.
Yeah, I think Mr. Peters is asking for a more detailed
Understood.
legal analysis as to the,
Right, but I think
Proofs for the
we
height
need the
variance.
architect to
yeah,
give the
yeah,
foundation.
we can go back. Yeah, I got some other issues that we got to discuss anyway.
I have no additional questions for Mr. Ritchie at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Clee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple. On the environmental issue, I think, it would be a good idea to have the Phase 1 and Phase 2 provided to the board.
No problem.
Looking at the site, I would agree there's not too much environmentally here, but you will still going to the Environmental Commission, who might require an EIS, and you'll comply with.
I think this board will require an EIS
Madam
approval.
Chair, I was going to get to that before the engineers got to it. I understand that you did some testing and so forth, and you don't think you need the EIS. And, we have that on the books as a requirement. And it gets a little aggravating when the applicants come in and say, well, we don't have to do it because we think we know better. I would like to see an EIS, and I'd also insist that we have a letter of no concern from our Environmental Commission.
No problem. We agree.
And while we're on that, I have a question about the MUA. You were pretty convinced you were hooking up to water and so forth, but with the septic, you hesitated. Do you have a preliminary for hooking up to their sewer system, or is there flow if you do hook up?
We've been in discussions with the MUA, extensive discussions, and we have a means to connect across the street to an existing gravity system that leads to the McCullough pump station, which then has a force main connected to it that sends the sewer to the main plant.
The question is, I know on that line,
Yeah.
there's been problem with any more allowance for flow. And a lot of their lines right now are overcapacitated for
Right.
flow. So I don't hear the words, you've had discussions, you've had, yeah, you talk, and yeah, you can hook up.
Well,
No, no,
Did you have
well,
preliminary, I'm not saying final, but do you have a preliminary for the sewer system from the MUA yet?
We're proposing to upgrade that force main line, and that was part of what we discussed with the MUA. So we're in the process of designing that upgrade now, and until we have a design plan to submit to them for review and final approval, we don't have that document, but we have had
So then you-
conversations, and they're
Would
on
you stipulate
board.
that you would not move no further unless you got final
yeah,
approval?
we can't build this building unless
Without
we have
that-
public's connection to sewer. We agree.
Yeah, I think that's important, especially with the flow
Agreed.
problems.
Sure.
Yeah, and the Pinelands wants it too, so yes, we agree.
Well, I don't envy you dealing with the Pinelands, but that's another. The other thing is, and I look at my engineer, Doug, with the entrances being short and all these sidelines a little short, you're usually pretty good at, how can we eliminate some of that? Are the entrances good enough for you with the length they are coming in for the flow?
We had raised a concern about, as you enter the site, if you head west, there's sort of a striped area before you get to parallel parking spaces.
Yeah.
And there's probably a better engineering solution to that. But we didn't get any testimony on it yet. I was going to wait until after the traffic engineer spoke to ask either the site engineer or the traffic engineer about that location. That first parallel parking space you get to seems to be unprotected.
Yeah.
Would you, I mean, just to head that off, would you be looking for that striped area to be curbed?
That would be the preference.
I think we can work, I think we can find a solution.
Just going back to the environmental, you're going to get a Pinelands no call-up letter. You'll address all the inconsistencies that were noted by the Pinelands Commission?
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest one and the longest lead item is that sewer connection. I mean, we have, the applicant is investing a significant amount of money in that sewer upgrade that's going to be required. And until we have that approval, that's what Pinelands is looking for as well. But yes, we're working toward that.
Okay, all right. And the retaining walls, a maximum of 3-foot height?
Yes, I don't think there's any that are over 3 feet.
And the concern is once we start getting a little bit higher, some type of, guardrail, or some safety concerns. And the only other question or comment goes back to the internal islands. A minimum of 10 feet is required, but you have less in a number of different spaces or spots throughout the site. Why can't we have 10-foot wide aisles and minimum 5-foot radiuses?
Well, some of those islands are underneath the building, and those islands underneath the building are meant for the column supports. The few islands that are in the parking area outside of the building footprint, 2 are on the west side and 1 is on the south side. And due to the geometry of the site, and this is part of what I was talking about before, where this is an existing property, so the dimensions are set. We just don't have the room to provide that full 10-foot width without losing parking spaces. And as I mentioned earlier, we are right on the number for required parking spaces. So if we were to lose a parking space in order to provide that full width, we'd be talking about a parking variance as opposed to a design waiver.
So the need for the floor area is kind of driving the need for these reduced islands.
I mean, it's the overall site layout, really, to fit the program on the site within those dimensions. We just aren't able to provide the full width, but we believe the width we're proposing is adequate to support a tree.
There's an
You know,
awful lot of
we-
building for a very small space. I walked that lot today, and it's just too big.
Yeah, you come out with permitted use, and we understand that, and you have some restraints and stuff. When we get to the point for, every time we talk here, we got 10 feet on this side, not enough, 5 feet on this side, not enough, this, not enough. Everything is just kind of like 5 pounds of it in a bag when it's only a 2-pound bag. Could there be some reduction to open some of this stuff up? And, you know, everything seems to be, how many small waivers do you want on your side setbacks? And also, on Garden Street there, on the left side, I can't see it on the wall there, there's a house right there. What are you gonna do to stop headlights and stuff from your parking lot high enough to stop headlights from going across the street right into their house?
There is an existing board-on-board fence there, and we intend to maintain that and extend it along that.
Maybe a nice new vinyl fence?
Sure.
The boarding fence probably been up there since the house went away.
That,
So
I
think the
tell you, I
vinyl fence
walked
would be
that
better.
lot today, and that's an old beat-up fence. I think a nice, lovely vinyl fence might be a great idea.
No objection to replacing that with a brand-new white vinyl privacy fence.
Excellent.
Mr. Clee, question for you. I hate to put you on the spot. Do you have anything that you come up with sometimes? What could we do to get away from all these, just short of what he requires for footages on the sides and stuff?
Reduce the
Smaller
si-
unit,
reduce the size of the building.
reduce the size of the building.
Or ask for a waiver of the required number of parking spaces with sufficient testimony to support the waiver.
And that's a tough one, because parking is one of my biggest gripes, because once we don't have parking, we have a hard time getting it out.
It's always easy for Doug and I to take out the knife and chop some stuff off.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of stuff that it's not one side, it's both sides, it's the north side, it's the west side, it's every side. I
Right.
think we gotta get that a little cleaner.
So, I mean, that's a great comment there, and our traffic engineer is going to provide some testimony based on the ITE standards in terms of what parking would be required for a building of this size, and it's far less than what your ordinance requires. And so if the board is willing to give some leeway with the number of parking spaces, then we absolutely can accommodate the full
I
width
think the board
islands.
may want to see a cleaner plan as opposed to a max number of parking. I think that's kind of where we're going with this. Also, I want to address 2 other issues. What's the ETA on the rework of the stormwater design so that our engineer can take a look at that? Did we have an ETA on that,
The
or?
stormwater or
There's no rework.
Well, I'm sorry, the sewer from the Pine Lands.
sanitary?
Yeah.
I mean, we're just getting started with the design of that off-site force main upgrade. We
You have an
just finished.
ETA on that, or a couple months?
Yeah, we're probably a couple months out.
Couple months out? Okay. So that's one issue I want to address. So I would rather us be in a situation where our engineer is able to take a look at that prior to any full approval, make sure the calculations are correct, the whole 9 yards. I think that may be beneficial kind of towards the end of this thing. Additionally, when it comes down to the Phase 1, Phase 2 reports, we don't have an environmental commission report on this application yet, do we? No, we don't, okay.
we don't.
So I would request that the Phase 1, Phase 2 be sent to the board's professionals, but also be sent to the Environmental Commission, and an EIS be performed. I mean, knowing that you have to schedule EISs, somebody's got to actually do the legwork on it, that may take as much time as getting the full, analysis done and calculations done for the MUA anyway. So I think if we get that on track together, by the time that both are ready and have the review letters out on them, may kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay.
The applicant,
Yeah, does he normally review the,
Yeah.
I hate to talk about.
I just want to make sure the
without asking him, but
calculate, he has all the
doesn't get involved in
calculations he
this.
needs,
Yeah, but the sanitary is really MUA, it's not this
Yeah.
board, so I'm not sure.
all right, I just wasn't sure if there was a flow analysis he had to do.
Yeah, if you want it, we could provide it, but it's not typically something we do.
Okay. But, yeah, as long as we get something back from the MUA,
Yeah, I mean, if the board needs the EIS and the Environmental Commission report before it acts, max, then we're going to have the time to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Which is what you were suggesting, but that's not typically something we submit here.
We,
but have
we
no
just
issue.
requested, just to, you know, if we're going to kill two birds with one stone, might as
That's
well
fine.
just knock them both off.
Those were your two.
Those were my two.
Gentlemen, anything from the board?
Yes, hi. Got a few things.
Nice and close.
Well, some of them already got stolen by others, I guess, but regarding the ADA parking spaces, two small observations. Number one, I'm not sure why they won't put it abutting the building. It might be easier for people with disabilities to not have to cross the road each time. Was there a reason why it was done opposite the building versus in the
Would
lower
seem
area?
that they should be switched with the EV.
That's what I was
They
thinking,
put the
unless there was a certain
ADA
reason for
under
that.
the building and put the EV out
Away from
because,
the building.
away from the building, because the fire department is asking us to make sure the EV is not close to buildings.
Correct.
Yep.
And the ADA compliant people would be much happier to be closer to the facility
And sheltered.
and sheltered.
We could certainly look at that.
Yeah, the width of them are also narrower than the standard parking spaces that you have around. They're 8 foot versus the 9s or 10s that you have around the property, so I'm not sure why they're actually narrower when they generally need more space.
The ADA spaces?
You've got in between, you've got 8 foots, but the actual spot itself, on the, what I'm seeing here is showing 8 foot.
And one is van. Only one is van compliant.
Yeah, but the spaces have to be ADA compliant.
Yeah.
You can't give relief from that, so we have to.
Yeah,
comply.
it's a federal guideline. They have to be ADA compliant. Yeah.
Okay, 8 foot. I don't see any plans, I guess it's not for you, but are we gonna have anything to see the actual building?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
With the
next one.
layouts?
I was going to ask the board's permission to at least let us put the architect on so you can give us your
Absolutely.
input
Well,
on that.
of course, of course. Now, Mr. Weingart, anything from you? Mr. Brezzi, anything else?
I just want to make sure, I know the MUA will love you to put a force main in, the MUA would love to give you a lot of lines to put in, I know the cost of it, but I also want to hear that they have flow there for you when it's done.
Yes, sir.
Can't help but think this building is just too big. Building is too big.
All right, we want to put the architectural?
Architect, yeah, please.
Madam Chair, just. two-
Oh, Mr.
just
Clayton.
Two more.
Sorry, Doug, sorry.
Curbs and sidewalk all along South Hope Chapel,
Yes,
and all signage is going to comply.
yes.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't believe we received the architecturals on this.
That's what I was talking about.
Yep, we
I don't
didn't
have any
get them.
plans to look at.
Do we have them?
Did we? No, I don't have them.
Well, we can put them up on the board, and then we can circulate them around afterwards. So I'll answer your question in a little bit. Yeah. But yes, they would be. Yeah.
We're gonna swear her in.
Yeah. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Yes, my name is Rachel Pasquez. I'm Rachel Pasquez, P-A-S-K-E-S-Z. I'm a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey, and I presented, I believe, in front of this board right around 2 years ago.
All right.
Thank you, we accept your credentials. Welcome.
Thanks.
So, Rachel, your office prepared the architectural plans that we're going to be discussing in a moment, is that correct?
Yeah,
And we submitted A3 through A8, which are all plans prepared by your office, right?
yes.
So do you want to just run through the plans as we go, and you could then give the details? Fine. So, Anthony, could you pull up A3, please?
Okay, yes, so I'll just run through as we page through the document, since it seems like this came in pretty recently. So as discussed earlier, we are proposing a 3-story building, 2 stories of office space above ground level parking, with a center small office portion on the ground floor. The building is proposed as a glass facade with a center solid portion that would be covered, screened in a metal mesh design material. We can page to the floor plans, to the next page, and we can go into detail on the layout. Okay, so this gives a little more detail as to what is being proposed on the ground floor. The entrance is from the front, so facing the main street. Shown on the sides is the parking that is covered, and entry is going to be gained through sidewalk that wraps the building. As discussed, it's office space, so we have some small ground level tenancies, and then the remainder of the ground floor is just circulation with the elevator, stairs, and an internal mail space. So that should address the mail and package. Going to the next page. Yeah, so this shows the second floor level, which is general open office space. It's shown now divided into potential tenancies, but this project is still in the planning stages, so there could be one tenant for the whole floor, 4 tenants for the whole floor, and this just shows a conceptual idea as to what's going on. And then just circulation, elevator, and building support. Going to the next page, yeah, this is the third floor, so similar layout. If you notice, there is there's a smaller first floor, and then the upper 2 floors are the full size of the building. And then going to the last floor plan page, which is the roof. Just the next sheet. So we're proposing the elevator and stair will be going up to the roof with a landing area. And the roof will be proposed to be used for, there will be mechanicals up there, which will be laid out at a further stage, and the potential for rooftop usage by the building users.
What kind of rooftop? What type of rooftop
So
uses?
it would be like break simply for the employees, like if someone needs some fresh air.
Oh, boy.
No.
No.
And what are they, parapet?
Yeah, there is a parapet. So we can go to the next sheet and see the elevation. So I'll just give the numbers. It's a little small. Okay, so the building height, as discussed, is the roof. The roof is at 37'6", or like 38 feet if we're going to go with the average grade. And that is to allow for the necessary height needed for construction, just to construct the floor-to-floor heights, and to get the clearance needed for the cars that are parking beneath the building with enough space. And then there is a 3'6" parapet being proposed to wrap the full roof.
Right. I understand the fact that, the height variance for a Class A building, I get it, right? Problem is that you're now testifying as to uses on top of a 38-foot building. How about the applicant agrees as a stipulation and condition of approval to only have maintenance people on top of a 38-foot building so that they don't just have employees and random people going up to a top of a 38-foot building and playing catch?
We could discuss that with the applicant between now and
Yeah,
the next
just
meeting.
have that conversation with them.
Okay, Rachel,
Sure.
sorry.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, the parapet would remain though, regardless of the roof usage, because it's necessary for.
Still needs to be safe.
Still needs to be safe, exactly, and there will be mechanical units there. Okay, and then just on the exterior, again, it's mainly glass and glass exterior with the center more solid portion. The building is stilted. with columns to allow for the parking that's beneath the building. And I believe that covers and then we have the signage piece, which is at the front entrance, the building-mounted signage, which has the address.
It's
That's
lovely.
all we
Building
have
is
with the
lovely.
architect.
I have a question.
But it's too big. The building is simply too big. You would not need all these multiple variances if you reduced it by, I went to Parsons for 3 years for architectural design. You could reduce this building by 10% and it would take away most of your variances.
Are you using the parking from the roof as well? The occupancy of there, or is that not even included in that?
Not
Well,
included.
By
It
square
wasn't part
foot.
of it, the square footage?
It's not square footage for parking calculations.
Got it.
Mr. Brezzi?
I have another question. You have fire suppression system through the building?
Pardon?
Fire sprinklers through the building?
Yes.
What about where the cars parked down there? Are they above the cars?
Yeah, I believe that's required, or whatever is
Do
necessary.
you believe, or are they there?
Pardon?
Do you believe it, or are they going to be there?
Oh, it will definitely meet code, and meet the code requirements.
Not just the code requirement, it will all be fire
Yeah,
suppressed.
yeah, which requires
Period.
sprinkler.
Well, and if it didn't require it, I still want the fire sprinklers in the parking area.
Okay.
Thank you. But I agree with the chairwoman that we're looking at this, and I know it's just, I was trying to keep track of a waiver on this, and this many feet here, that there, and it's all over the site, all the way around. And the only way to kind of fix that is reduce the size of the building, and we can get so much more in compliance with what we want on our books and what we have as ordinances for. And I'd like to see that. I can't figure a percentage out, a 10% reduction, a 20, whatever. But I think it has to be reduced to get to where we have to be, to get everything in, or at least get rid of some of the waivers and variances.
That's not a decision for Rachel to make,
No,
so.
I figured she's standing there,
No.
she's Jimmy.
But she's going to be the
I
one,
have a thought, though.
she'll be the one that
owner
has
is
to
being
redraw these plans.
Is being partial owner occupancy. So
Correct.
if there is, I don't know the exact nature of the business, honestly, but they're the owners and they are planning on using a portion of the building. If they do know how many occupants they have, is that something that can be part of the traffic study to allow for a reduction in parking spaces?
We're beyond the parking spaces. We're also at the side setbacks and how many feet are required here, and I had a whole list of them here. I put them away already. You had 28, and you got 10, and you got 12, and you need 15. And, there's always seems to be a reduction, not we meet the requirement. So, I mean, to be consistent, we need a reduction rather than we meet the requirement. Just kind of messes up the application.
We'll discuss that with the applicant also before we come back. We may ask the board to act on this application and present proofs to support potential relief, but we'll look at it since you do need the environmental issues.
We need a couple of things,
Right.
so
So we
probably,
know.
we know you're coming back. This building is too big for that lot. It's
Okay.
simply too big for the lot.
Nice-looking building.
We're-
Nice, beautiful building. And it will be a beautiful building, and we'd love to see it in town. But on that lot, it is too much building for the lot.
Okay. Any other questions of the architect?
Mr. Rogers? Mr. Heller? Mr.
Madam Chair.
Weinberg? Gentlemen,
Thank you. I can't see on that drawing, what's the building height?
Well, you're talking about from the engineer's calculation of the average, or you want specific
What's
section?
building height?
Oh, You
I don't-
you
I
agree
didn't
with
get
the
a chance to
engineer?
review the
Yeah, I
architect's
agree with the
plans.
engineer's height, yeah.
She
The
agrees with
engineer's
the
height.
Pardon?
engineers.
The engineer's height, I believe he stated 38 feet.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make sure that those plans coincide with that.
Yeah, they will.
Okay. What's the height of the parapet?
3'6".
My concern is that Mr. Alfieri requests and gets the correct variance relief. The section in the Jackson Code for Height Limitations, Chapter 244-156B, Says the height limitations created hereunder shall not apply to spires, belfries, cupolas, or domes not used for occupancy, or to parapets, walls, or cornices not extending more than 4 feet above the building height limit. Building height's at 35, 4 foot is 39. If you're starting at 38 and building a 3.5-foot wall, it's 41 and a
41.
half.
Yeah, that was 41. Yeah.
So I want that information correct. I don't want it to be a condition of approval, and then it gets missed, and the zoning officer denies the application because you didn't ask for or receive
That's a deep
proper
variance.
height variance relief.
Yeah,
Because now it's 41 feet.
yeah.
So again,
You understand that,
respectfully-
you understand that distinction, right? So we have to look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you for pointing that out.
You know,
Yeah.
if I'm looking at this building, you could probably avoid some of that height by moving your second and third floor down a bit. Because you don't really need that much height under the building. You're not getting truck deliveries down there. There's going to be no semis coming through there. It's just a thought. While you know you're going to have to do it again anyway.
Can you
You
tell the
could-
board what the floor height to floor height dimensions are from the
Yeah.
second to third floor and from the third floor to the roof, please?
So they're all being proposed at 12'6", which is pretty tight
Class
for an
A.
office building. It's a little challenging because we have the parking, so we have to get some deep structure over there. So it's not necessarily just intent. But we'll look into it.
I like I like under building parking. I think it's a good design feature, and it does maximize your space. Please look at the size of the building.
Understood.
Any other questions before we open to the public?
We have a traffic
Oh,
engineer.
I wouldn't
We may as
wanna
well-
miss. I'm so sorry.
We may as well let him,
He's been very quiet over
You've
there.
been so patient.
Yeah.
And I did see you sitting there quietly.
and we won't have him talk about parking relief
Don't
because
bother.
that's something we could.
Yeah,
deal with.
we'll address
We're
that
not
next
going
time.
to go there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Justin?
Thank you.
Either one.
All right, stranger. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Please state name and spell your last for the record.
Justin Taylor, Taylor. I'm a licensed engineer in the state of New Jersey. I will tell you that nothing's changed since the last time I was here, and everything is still current.
And the board accepts the credentials?
We do. Welcome.
Thank you very much. So just to give a brief rundown of what we did as part of this project, we looked
You have to
at-
get, we
Sorry,
have no
yep.
microphone, I mean, you
Right
have no
here. Is
speakers
that
today.
Better.
Thank you.
Yes, there we go.
Much better.
We looked at the circulation as being proposed. We worked hand in hand with a civil engineer to design the circulation and layout. We also reviewed the proposed trip generation that we would expect for the site. I have heard loud and clear, I'm not going to talk about the parking at this point, but from a trip generation perspective, what we look at is we look to the Institute of Transportation Engineers publication, Trip Generation. For a 16,500 square foot building and the most current 12th edition of Trip Generation, we would see trips in the AM and the PM peak hour ranging from 38 in the morning to 47 in the evening. Now, that's a combination of in and out, obviously with more coming in the morning and more leaving in the evening because of the prevailing traffic patterns of an office use. Based on standards that we utilize, both the ITE and the NJDOT, this falls well below the threshold of significant, which has been set at 100 new peak hour trips. So based on that, it's my professional opinion that the traffic associated with the project won't have any detrimental impact to the surrounding roadway network. Now, I will state, and it has been mentioned previously, that Hope Chapel is County Route 547. So this access point is going to require the approval of Ocean County. We had the ability to meet with Ocean County at the inception of the job and discuss the appropriate location for the access point and the operation of this access point. Now, as Mr. Ritchie mentioned, we do currently have 3 driveways on the property. One circular horseshoe driveway for the residents that was there, and one driveway that ran to the back, to the garages that were in the rear, and it's my understanding was used separately as a contractor storage type facility. When we sat down and met with Ocean County, they asked us to move the driveway as far north as we could go. to give separation with the driveway to the Christie McAuliffe Middle School. It was their opinion that while that is going to push it close to the driveway on the property to the north, that was the most appropriate location for the driveway, and it cleaned up kind of what's out there now, the kind of hodgepodge of what's on the property. So with that, and with their conceptual blessing, we moved on to the site plan that you see before you on A2. We did work hand in hand with the civil engineer to kind of lay out the on-site circulation, providing adequate circulation aisles through the entirety of the site. We do require a waiver, which may end up going away, depending on how this gets redesigned, in the back right corner where it pinches down because the two side property lines are not parallel. So we ended up with about a 21-foot aisle there. But what you'll see, and where's the, I don't know if this is going to show up on this one. Nope. This one. All right. Anthony has one. It's all right.
I have one,
In the
too.
rear, I can describe it. We're good. In the rear right corner of the site, near the trash enclosure, there's a striped area there. That was one to protect. Perfect. Oh, actually, you know what? Down. Yeah, there we go. That's partially designed to protect the end of the parallel parking spaces along the north side of the property line. But it's also designed to give an area for the vehicle that's in that 21-foot access aisle room to back into, right? And so it's my opinion that we looked at circulation patterns, and the vehicle that's parked in the proximity of the aisle where it's 21 feet can utilize that striped area to back into. So I don't see any detriment in granting that minor deviation from the access aisle width. We also ensured that it was laid out to handle all the delivery vehicles that we do anticipate. We're talking about an office building. You're getting WB Mason, you're getting FedEx, you're getting UPS. They can adequately circulate through the site and will drop off in one of the parking spaces the way they do in every typical office building. But we also ensure that both the fire truck can circulate around the building, as well as a garbage truck can get into the site, navigate to the rear, pick up the trash, and then exit again. And all of these maneuvers can be done adequately as designed, and it is included in the site plan set that was submitted to the board. So in a nutshell, from a traffic generation standpoint, there won't be any detrimental impact given the fact that the level of traffic we're anticipating in this site doesn't reach that level of significant. I do believe that it's been designed with adequate parking. We do meet the ordinance. We also would meet the ITE trip generation or parking generation standards that would say about 2 per thousand is what you see today in a standard office building. That translates into a demand of about 32 spaces for the 16,000 square foot facility that we're talking about. But beyond that, we do meet what your ordinance does require for the facility. So I do feel that what's proposed here is adequately parked, and I feel that the circulation will adequately support.
Can you talk a little bit about the length of the access points? Because we do need relief from that as well.
Surely. So the throat length that's being proposed here, given the low trip generation that we're anticipating for, I don't believe it'll have any detrimental impact as vehicles queue to exit onto South Hope Chapel. And realistically, as they would approach, they're going to be able to stack back 2, maybe 3 vehicles, and then utilize the rest of the access aisles to be able to come out. So I don't see a detriment in granting that waiver. It's pretty typical to have an access throat length for a building of this size in that length.
That's all we have of Mr. Taylor, Madam Chair.
Any questions? Gentlemen?
You didn't do an analysis of the levels of service along South Hope Chapel Road, did you?
We did not know.
If there was a capacity issue, what would the county have you do in terms of being able to provide a full access driveway at that location?
So based on our meetings with the county, they permitted us to have conceptually permitted us to have a full movement driveway with the trip generation in the building that's as proposed today.
So they're asking you to get rid of your second legal access, make it one, put it as far north as possible, and they're going to permit you to have that as a full movement.
That's correct.
Okay. Mr. Klee and I have worked in town for a few too many years, going back to a different century. making left-hand turns out of here would require someone to cross what amounts to a left turn lane for the school, correct?
We are at the rear end of that left turn lane, yes.
I've had other transportation officials, including policemen, tell me that it's not permitted to cross that double yellow line in a left turn only lane. Can you give the board some confidence that what's being proposed by the applicant and will be approved by the county will in fact allow people to cross that left turn lane?
So there's a couple pieces to that question, and let's unpack them all slightly differently. When we talk about the left turn lane, what we talk about is the full width of the left turn lane, not the transition areas where you're getting into that lane. Our left turns in, and it's difficult to see because it's cut off at the very bottom. Can we scroll up just a little? I don't know if the exhibit actually shows. Nope.
No, it doesn't.
So essentially, the left turnout turns into the transition area. So it's not in the full width of the left turn lane. But to go a little further, it is permissible in and out of commercial driveways to cross double yellow lines. Both Title 39 and the MUTCD make that permissible. You don't need to break it. You need to break it for public right-of-ways. So when you intersect another street, the double yellow needs to be broken. But from a commercial operation, it is absolutely permissible and legal to cross that double yellow line.
Could we get that in writing?
Absolutely. I will, knowing we're coming back, give you the full
You're
derivation.
coming back anyway, we might as well clean this all up.
Yep.
I apologize for interrupting. My suggestion is Mr. Taylor proffers that letter to the board and to the traffic safety officer in town.
Absolutely.
So that we don't, and no disrespect to any group, but what I don't want to have is traffic safety questioning what the board does, because Doug and I are of the opinion that we would agree with Mr. Taylor's assessment. However, we've had folks from PD in the past suggest that that's not permissible, including at their own entrance to their building.
Right, to their own building. Yes, we know, we struggle with that.
Yes, I absolutely can provide the justification for their professional opinion.
All right, so we'll get that in writing. Thank you. Gentlemen, anything? Mr. Weinberg, Mr. President? Okay,
Thank you very
thank you
much.
so much.
So-
Stick around because people may
Yeah.
have questions.
So, Madam Chair, we're going to just open for questions now because we're
Yes.
not
We'll just
finished.
we'll do cross, or we'll do general.
We'll do cross
well-
because the people have been very patient.
Okay, fine.
Well, hold it. Thank you. We have a little process, so you haven't been here. We have a little process. So we need to have a motion, please, to open to public for cross-examination purposes only.
Make a motion, open for cross-examination.
Second, Heller?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, anyone who wishes to ask questions of the professionals, applicants, may come forward.
All right. Please state your name.
My name is Adam Heidi.
All right. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. And your address for the record?
I live in 60 acres in Jackson, New Jersey.
What's the
60
I live in
acres
60
is
acres.
on Manhattan Street.
Exactly. Thank you.
I go by it every day.
And may I just ask a question? I'd rather not give the
You have a, there's a
numeric
number
address.
street address there, though,
Yeah.
Tulip or...
Whisper in Oaks. Whisper in Oaks Way. I live on Whisper in Oaks Way. Heidi, Haidi. I would just rather not give my numeric address to the public, respectfully.
Wait, say that again?
He doesn't want to...
I would just prefer not to disclose my numeric address to the public, respectfully,
Okay.
which is allowed.
Well,
It's not allowed, actually, but
We're not going to debate it, though. We're okay with that as long as...
No,
Yeah.
I want to follow the rules.
yeah. So let me explain to you. So what happens is that if you don't disclose permanent address in the township, what happens is that goes actually detrimentally to the weight of the questioning and testimony that you're providing to such an extent, pursuant to case law, the board is actually able to either strike or dismiss your testimony. I don't like doing that because I don't think it's the right thing to do when it's simply just an address thing.
Yeah.
So if you feel comfortable enough,
60 acres is good
just,
enough.
Can I ask a question?
sure.
Ms. Campbell verified that I live in town. She
If
seconded,
you're
she seconded an
comfortable
address,
enough,
correct?
if the applicant's comfortable enough, we'll go with that.
Just how,
Well, I just want to make sure I'm following the law. But legally, do I need to give you my numeric address? Or do I need to just state that I live within,
Well,
within the township?
I just gave it to you. What happens is pursuant to the MLUL, if you don't give a specific address, then...
You can strike my
Then you
testimony.
can strike the testimony, so you could make some very valid, cogent points, and...
Well, I don't
and-
want that to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's
So
right to do to people.
I apologize for my ignorance.
Yeah.
My name is Adam Heide. I live at 70 Verbena Court in Jackson, New Jersey.
Thank
You
My
got it.
apologies, sir.
You got it.
Am I allowed to ask the board questions also?
No, we're not, for this particular portion, you
Okay.
only ask questions of the applicants,
Understood.
and
My
then
apologies.
we have another section.
Awesome. Okay. So I counted over 15 variances, not including nonconformities. Have you submitted these variances to the Pinelands Commission as well, as this property lies within the Pinelands Commission?
the plans were submitted to the Pinelands.
Commission, can you elaborate on their comments on that report, please?
The engineer would have to do that. Rod?
You would not be able to elaborate
No,
again?
engineer
the
will.
engineer will do that.
Thank you.
I mean, the latest letter from the Pinelands has two outstanding issues, which I described earlier. One about the permeability of the soils underneath the stormwater management system, and the other was connection to public sewer. So those were their only outstanding comments that we're working on addressing.
And you submitted that site plan to them, correct?
Yes.
Did they review section 11, subsection D, figure A2, page A2 on that site plan? I advised the attorney to look at subsection, this right here, A2, subsection 11, buffer requirements. Sorry, section 11, buffer requirements, subsection D. It appears that the developer is seeking 5 waivers relative to the environment, and let me explicitly state what this is. Let's remember, we are within the Pinelands, so this application is contingent upon Pinelands Commission approval, right? So not only is that the truth, applicant is seeking a waiver for prohibited activities within the buffer areas. This is relative to 244. Sorry, let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on
there you go.
subsection D of section 11? I have to ask questions.
There
I
you go,
apologize.
yes.
Can you please read?
He's testified to the variance relief and waiver relief that we
He did
require.
not today.
Yes, he has.
He did not tonight. I did not hear that. It is recorded.
You
That is
weren't
that is a
paying
lie.
attention
I was
then.
absolutely paying
One
attention.
one at a time, one at a time.
I am asking the developer
So
to go over section 11, subsection D of the site plan.
So
And he said I already did it.
if the developer can take a look at that and answer the question.
And we also have meeting minutes. I'm 100%
Well,
confident he did not
take
speak
one
on that.
one at a time, one at a time.
I don't know what section, I don't have the ordinance in front of me, so
It's,
tell me whether.
it's your site plan.
I can't read that.
Can I read it?
So we
I
we
don't know
give
if you're
them,
able to, but
we got to give some grace here because that you just threw a very technical question out there. So
It's their
let's-
plan.
Let's see if we can answer.
Well,
it.
let me try to answer it generally.
There you go.
And that is that any relief that we're seeking is a decision that's made by this board. So the testimony that we provided this evening in support of the application is also in support of that relief. That's relief from the local ordinance. Pinelands didn't really comment on that. Pinelands relies on the local municipality to review conformance with the local standards.
So you're saying that the municipal ordinance supersedes the Pinelands law?
no, they're completely independent of each
I
other.
asked-
Independent.
Okay. Can you please elaborate on section 11, subsection D?
What
Five
do you-
waiver,
what do
five
you- wait,
waivers.
wait. What's section 11 of what?
Right,
Give me the whole
that's-
entire citation.
So are you talking about a specific ordinance, or
What-
are you
do you s-
talking about?
Do you see the figure on the PowerPoint right now? That page.
That's what I'm, so, just so we're specific with the question, right? So, section 11, subsection D, you're referencing is one of the comments on the site plan. On the
Correct.
right-hand side of the site plan, right there.
It's relative to 5 waivers on the environment they're
Okay,
requesting.
so if the applicant can take a look
And
at
they're
that.
not
and-
environmental waivers.
Municipal land use waivers,
They're buffer waivers.
relative to the environment. What
Has
do
nothing
they,
to do with the
what
environment.
are the 5 waivers you're stating, you're seeking underneath 244 dash? 193.8. You wrote it. I have it here, but
No, that's okay, just allow him a chance to answer the question.
Yeah, so he's referring to section 244-193.B.5 of the ordinance that talks about buffer areas. And yes, we included that in our testimony, that we are seeking relief.
can you elaborate on I through 5? 1 through 5, I gave you, I'm just asking for, I just need some clarification on your site plan. I'm requesting you to elaborate on section 11, subsection D. There's 5 waivers underneath the prohibited activities within a buffer area that the applicant is seeking a waiver on.
Okay, let him just answer the question. Yeah.
Yeah, so my understanding is that we are seeking relief from providing the full buffer that's required. And therefore, we're not meeting these 5 different provisions of a buffer area
Okay.
to the tune of,
I understand.
we're providing 18.6
Okay.
feet, where
He's
20.
the-
That's what the relief was
Let me ask
requesting.
another question.
Let him finish.
Yeah, I mean, that's my answer.
Okay. Let me ask you, can you confirm underneath section 11, subsection D, I?
Hang on one second, Mr. Bresci wants to say something.
I agree with you with all the waivers he's asked, and that's what I made reference to before. And that's why, Madam Chair, asked to reduce the size of the building to eliminate them. I didn't go by what section they were. I just listed there were so many of them on the north corner, the west side, and everything else, that we would reduce the size of the building maybe, and eliminate the asking of those waivers. And that's what we've been addressing.
I need them to elaborate. I would like information. Can you confirm or deny you are seeking a waiver on the removal, excavation, grading, or disturbance of the soil? Can you confirm or deny that in that subsection? That's subsection 11, DI. It's the first of the 5 waivers. I'm just helping guide him there. Can you confirm or deny that? And I could repeat the question respectfully.
No, let him read what he wrote.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you don't know the answer tonight, you'll have to tell him we'll get back to them.
Could I borrow your laser?
Could borrow mine.
Thank you, miss. Can I approach you?
Yes, you may. There's-
Can the IT person respectfully zoom into the bottom right quadrant of the screen?
Push that little silver button, you take the plastic off.
Yeah, Anthony, if you could zoom in the section he's talking about.
Somewhere over like here, section 11, subsection D, I through 5, there's very concern. Can you zoom it? Yeah. I just want, and then one more.
I have it here and can read it if you'd like.
So you're close. Buffer requirements is here. We just need underneath that.
So
And then below, if you could kindly blow that up. And I asked the applicant and developer to turn their attention to the screen, and if you need help reading, I can assist
He
you.
can see his now.
I
Okay,
can see it.
so can you confirm section 11 buffer requirements? Subsection D here, it says waiver, correct?
Correct,
So you guys are seeking a waiver underneath prohibited activities within the buffer area.
correct.
Okay, so can you confirm you're seeking a waiver on the removal, excavation, grading, or disturbance of the soil?
Correct.
Could you confirm you are seeking a waiver on dumping or filling with any materials?
Yes.
Can you confirm the erection of structures?
That one doesn't apply.
Can you confirm or deny the erection of structures? It says waiver here. Are you seeking a waiver for the erection of structures underneath this ordinance or not?
No, not within a buffer area.
That's not what your site plan says.
He just answered you, so.
Okay. Are you seeking a waiver on the placements of pavements or any impervious covers?
Yes.
Okay. And are you seeking, this one is my favorite, are you seeking within the Pinelands the destruction of plant life which would alter the existing pattern of vegetation or cause substantial change of the buffer, including but not limited to clear-cutting, burn-in or application of herbicides?
Yes, we are removing some plants and putting a whole bunch more back.
And did the Pinelands comment on that, on any of these waivers?
No, not specifically, no.
Okay. Would you say that the destruction of plant life affects the environment?
Sure.
Okay. Because at the beginning of the meeting, you stated you don't believe that there's any environmental concerns on this site plan, very confidently. That's correct. That's what you said, right? Yet our site plan has a myriad of variances. Is that correct, relative to the environment?
So
Is
my
that
statement-
correct?
Can he answer the question?
It was a yes or no question.
No, it's
Just
not.
let him,
No, it's
let him
not.
answer let him answer the question.
I apologize.
So when I made that statement, the context was with regard to wetlands and flood hazard areas, and my comment was, there are no wetlands or flood hazard areas on the site, so there were no detrimental environmental impacts with regard to those environmental constraints, is what the context was at the time, if I recall correctly.
You say there's no wetlands on the site. Have you evaluated if there are wetlands within the area?
The wetlands have to be on the site to be pertinent to the application. That, yes.
You know wetland buffer laws? If there's a wetland within
So-
200
so
to 300 feet,
I understand where you're
Right?
going with this, which is why
there is a wetland a tenth of a mile away from this site plan.
I understand that, but if it's not on the site, then the buffer requirement doesn't apply to it, so you can't have,
Okay, I understand,
Yeah,
sir.
we don't have wetland or wetland buffer issues on this property.
On the site. You don't have wetlands
And
issues on the site.
Pinelands has reviewed that.
And what did the Pinelands say? Do you have a complete application from the Pinelands? Or do you have an incomplete application from the Pinelands currently that the board is reviewing?
We currently have an incomplete application.
Okay, thank you. Do you know, I'm not confident in this. Do you know anything about 244-72 in our land use laws?
If you really expect someone to answer that question,
No, I'm
what's-
asking.
What's the title of
I think
the
it's the
ordinance?
participation of Pineland Commission in public hearings.
So
what about it?
all right, hang on. So was that an ordinance that was addressed in any of the review letters, or is this something that you're just
Testimony.
kind of throwing out there?
It might, maybe in their plan.
So-
I'm not positive it's in their
So
plan. or not.
is it a local township ordinance that you're referring to, or are you
Yeah.
referring
Yeah,
to
that's in our local municipal
Okay,
ordinances.
what's the title of the ordinance?
It is called 244-72, participation of Pinelands commissions in public hearings. I was going to ask the developer if he would be opposed to having the Pinelands commissions sit on these hearings.
They're allowed as any member of the public to come to
Right.
any hearing they want to come in. If you want to invite them, you can invite them.
Do you know if our...
Mr. Peters has something to say.
Madam Chair, just so the record's clear, our ordinance, Chapter 244-72, is entitled Participation of Pinelands Commission in Public Hearings.
Oh, okay.
And it reads, Pinelands Commission may participate in a hearing held in the township involving the development of lands in the Pinelands area pursuant to NJAC 7:50-4.36, which are the
So they are
Pinelands
welcome at
regulations.
any time. They're not here.
Okay. Would the applicant be opposed to having the Pinelands Commission
We
sit
have no
on
control
future-
over it. If
future
they want
hearings?
to,
So
we
I
can't stop
think
them.
you're confusing, so you're talking about apples with oranges. So what happens is that every application is subject to Pinelands approval. If you, as a concerned citizen, interested party, whatever you want to call it, want to contact the Pinelands Commission and say, hey, listen, may have something that, you might be interested in, see if they're
I asked the
available
question.
to.
Is that a bad question?
Well, it's.
Doesn't apply to them.
Yeah,
There-
and
there's-
just
there's
so you
no-
know,
there's
Certainly
there's no
does. Their
legal.
property is within the Pinelands.
Hang on. There's no legal precedence whereby we can stipulate to an applicant that they cannot present the testimony in front of us without a Pinelands official being present.
That's not my, I didn't say
Yeah,
that.
well, you're kind of inferencing it, but.
Well,
No, I didn't.
Right.
I explicitly asked whether or not the applicant would be opposed to the Pinelands Commission sit in here.
And we can't.
It's not a
First,
mandate.
let me
That's
just
why
say-
they're not here.
Can I answer your
One at a
question
time. Yes, sir,
more,
yeah.
more intelligently than what you want to hear? As part of our obligation under the municipal land use law, we had to send a certified letter to the Pinelands telling them about the hearing tonight. And they got it. So if they wanted to attend, they can. But your question was, would we object if Pinelands came to the meeting? We have no control. If they want to come, they have the absolute right to come. So asking us that question is kind of meaningless, because if we said no, it wouldn't matter. They could come
They
if
could
they
still-
wanted.
Yeah, they would be here anyway, yeah.
I understand. I get your point.
So you invite them, get them to come.
Do you have any data on the sewer upgrade?
He answered that it was being designed, so today, do you?
No? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I return your...
Anyone else like to come forward?
And just so you know, what happens is that typically there's a Pinelands public hearing that happens. So if you have any concerns, comments, it's like no different than going to the Ocean County Freeholders Board, right?
Yeah.
For similar concerns that happen at the county level. So that may be kind of one of the avenues, because you seem very interested in it. So that may be one of the avenues you may want to look into.
Awesome.
So just for a kind of parallel line of interest.
Yeah, right
All
on.
right.
I appreciate that.
You got it.
Can I bring you this?
And also, just remember that no matter what happens, on everything you mentioned
Thank you.
about the Pinelands has the final say in it. Without that, they can't move forward. Thank you.
Yes,
Long
sir.
time no see. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, to the best of my ability.
Now, you have to be, we have no,
Yeah, we're having a rough time hearing.
having a rough time with the
Yeah, I know
speakers
that
tonight.
the air conditioner behind you probably
Well,
is,
no, the problem is that the speakers aren't hooked up yet. We're redoing
okay.
this room.
Eric Jones, 722 Heisen Road. The only thing I have, I was at a zoning meeting. It's not really questions. I get questions for them, yes, but
At this
I
time.
don't know what the obsession
at
is.
this
I
time-
understand. I don't know what the obsession is with three-story buildings. If you look around this whole area, they're popping up here and there, but I
So
don't know
we-
what.
Is that a question for us?
Well, I'm just curious at that. But my question to you guys would be, so this is going to be a clear-cut operation? You're
There's
going to
no-
knock
what kind of
every
tree removal?
every
There's
tree?
Wooding on this plan.
You talk about replacing stuff on the back of, well, I can't see the drawing anymore.
In the center of the site, yes, pretty much all the trees in the center of the site will be removed. Around the perimeter, we intend to save the trees that we can and that make sense,
Okay, the ones towards the
but-
back are the retirement?
but the ones in the back that, are in poor condition or, not healthy, then, yeah, we plan to remove them and replace them with new,
And you're meeting with the forester, correct? Our forester?
We don't, is Shari your forester?
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't, but we can.
Please do.
sure,
Thank you.
okay.
Well, because everything around seems to be clear-cutting to property lines. And then you put back, you say you're going to put back a lot of valuable bushes and trees and such, but every tree has value, especially ones that are 30 years old. And then you're just going to knock them over, and you don't even, I see a lot of job sites around here where they don't even touch the ground where they took the trees down. And to me, it makes absolutely zero sense when you have to wait 30 years for a tree to grow, especially if you guys are building right next to a retirement place. The people are going to sit on their back porch and look at this big wall. Who wants that? You may as well live next to the parkway and have a sound wall at your back door.
Got to keep the questions.
I understand that.
I
It
know.
just,
At least this part.
This is not the statement part.
all right, then, why do we have to have two ways in the parking thing? Why can't it be one way in and one way out?
Because the county said no.
You're talking about internal sites.
Internal
Oh, the internal
circulation.
sites.
Correct. Why do we have to have, because we're talking about sizes of buildings and shrinking things and to make things fit, then you go into your buffer zone. Now, if you made it one way, you can increase the buffer zone. You wouldn't have to remove any of those boundary trees, not one. You're not allowed to make one circular pattern?
He'll answer.
Well, even if you made it a one-way circulation, I mean, you still have to allow for enough room for the vehicles to be able to back out of the space. So,
Oh, is that the reason? Oh, man,
yeah,
I
we have
guess
to
I
have
could see
room
that,
for
but-
vehicles to circulate around the site.
Now, you
So-
guys are totally against angle parking? Do you lose spaces in angle parking? Like, when you turn?
Yes, you do. You do.
I think I've heard that before. I don't know if you consider that.
I'll bet the traffic engineer could tell you we lose space in angle parking.
Yeah, let
Yes,
him,
well, here,
Yes, it's less efficient to angle the parking and reduce
Okay,
the parking spaces.
okay. I don't know. I just think this is a lot, like Mrs. Campbell was saying, this is a lot for a little spot. And there's nothing around there. It's 3 stories tall.
This is not the statement part.
Yeah, I know,
Come
but there's
back
nothing around
for
there.
the statement part.
Got to let these guys know there's nothing around here. And the character of the town,
I know, but we got to ask questions
Again,
for right now.
you know?
Yeah. All right.
Anyone else would like to come forward to ask questions? We'll do comments next. All right, we'll take a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion to close public comment for testimony, questioning the professionals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll take a new motion.
Motion to open public comment for any topic.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
And just to be clear, the public comment part does not end the applicant's case in chief, as the application will be carried to another hearing. Yeah. Just for procedure purposes. All right.
Deborah Jones, 722 Hyson Road.
All right. Do you affirm or swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right.
I just want to go on record, and I said it at zoning. Variances are what's killing Jackson. We just keep doing variances. I'm so glad to hear you question of why we're doing everything. And I look at this, and we all know that's a small lot. I lived on Hope Chapel for years. That lot is not big. To me, I look at this and I think about my son playing Matchbox cars when he was a little boy in the little city. And you look at that, and it looks like this. And then you go to the city, and that picture doesn't do justice of what we're going to look at as residents. It's going to be huge. I know you say it's a nice building. I'm not questioning if it's a nice building. It's a great building. I wouldn't mind looking at it if I moved to a city. I don't live in a city. Never lived in a city. We just keep going and keep going. Go down the road. Everywhere you look now, the buildings are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. When do we leave Jackson to Jackson? It seems like we're taking, a square screw and we're trying to put it into a round hole. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. And we can say no to variances. We do not have to approve them. So I just wanted to put my opinion out there as a lifelong Jackson resident. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We already swore him in, so you're good to go.
Should I repeat my address?
Could you please put the microphone up close so
Yep.
we can hear you? Thank you.
Just state your name for the record again. You're good being sworn in.
Awesome. Adam Heidi. Yeah, so I obviously, you guys heard my attempt at interrogating the gentleman to the left of me. I seriously have immense environmental concerns for this site plan. They explicitly, it's genuinely disturbing how they explicitly state what. For one, I'm a little disheartened at how little they understand their own site plan. Like there was many times that our engineers are asking the architect about the sizes. She doesn't know what's going on. I'm asking you about your own site plan. You don't know what's going on. It just feels.
Let's.
This is my public comment.
I have to, I know,
This is my
but
public
I could
comment, right?
object when you say that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop speaking and I'll let you speak.
No, I'm
Well, no.
speaking now.
No, but I could speak over you because it's my,
And I'm
but I'm going to be
speaking over you.
respectful.
All
I'm going to be
right,
respectful and let you speak. actually.
slow up. All right, we're not going to take pot shots with each other. We're going to keep it nice and respectful.
But it's my comment,
I-
correct?
I understand that. I know you have
Right.
comments, but we got to keep it respectful. So just, if you have a point to make, now's the time.
Just don't attack the witnesses.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want, just don't attack them.
It's okay. Keep on going.
Okay, I don't use the word, I wouldn't use the word attack, but I apologize if I may have offended anybody who is vouching for and sworn in, testifying in support of this plan. So that's my response to you, sir. So back to what I was saying relative to the environment, applicant explicitly is seeking not variances. They don't want use variances to do these things. They explicitly want a waiver. They want to fill in they want to fill in. I mean, I made such a annoying emphasis on section 11, subsection D. I asked him, I asked explicitly about five things. You guys want to clear cut, you want to destroy native plants. Actually, one second. There's five prohibited activities within the
Just so
buffer
you're
area.
clear, so you understand the process, that a variance and a waiver are two requests for relief, but they're different legal tests. So they're legal requirements that you have to meet, and one's a balancing test, one's a multi-factor test. So they're not interchangeable with one another, they're not synonymous with one another, but they ask for similar sources of relief, even though there's different legal standards for both. Just in case you're not familiar with the process.
I appreciate all the knowledge. Thank you, sir. But just my emphasis is just the blatant disregard for the environment. I also referenced the Pinelands Commission ordinance. I think you guys should really look into that and maybe think about having the Pinelands Commission come in and sit here, since this property is within the Pinelands. And
That's up to the Pinelands. We
That's
have
up
no
to the
control over
Pinelands.
that.
you guys can't reach out to them out of concern?
They get a notice of this meeting.
Yep.
They're told. it's
I
open
can,
to
right?
come.
As a resident, I could reach out to the Pinelands
Yeah,
and say, hey,
so
Yes,
what
you can.
happens is that the Pinelands is automatically on notice of every hearing that involves them. If they want to send somebody out, and I've actually been to private applications where Pinelands have actually sent somebody out, believe it or not. Typically, it's like big commercial ones, typically much larger than this scale for them to have some kind of vested interest in it. But we as a board don't have the capacity of twisting their arm to get somebody here. You as a resident have the ability, you actually have much more authority than we do, believe it or not, as to calling them up and putting them kind of on notice and seeing if they're able to, make a guest appearance, so to speak.
Nice. Yeah, and just to follow up on that, since it is within the Pinelands, I think you guys should have the commission. There should be an impact.
Trust me, there are a lot of things I wish that I could make Pinelands do, and having an official appear is one of them. So,
And remember, the Pinelands has the final say on it. We don't.
Yep.
The Pinelands is judge and jury on that, not us.
The
they
Pinelands
submit to
will,
the-
the Pinelands will review this plan.
Plus, they will
We're
not.
What about our
only the
environmental
first stop.
commission? 'Cause our
We're the
chair is
first
not here
stop
for-
on the train.
Yep.
Then, when it goes from here, it goes to the outside agencies. We only have our control of our little area, and then it moves to bigger areas.
and just so you know, all right, what happens is that if they don't get Pinelands approval, right? Let's say they're violating some kind of Pinelands, ordinance or statute or whatever the case may be. If Pinelands does not give the rubber stamp, the applicant has to come back before the board, change everything that is non-compliant with Pinelands, which most likely will be substantial in nature, and they have to redesign their entire plan. It'll be a whole new application. So
Madam Chair?
they can't do anything without Pinelands approval.
And
Mr.
also-
Peters,
Oh,
Mr. Peters.
Just, maybe we can short-circuit this. The Pinelands Commission letter for this application dated June 2nd, 2025, their inconsistent certificate of filing, states that a certificate of filing is not an approval. It is the document necessary to allow any municipal or county agency to review and act on the proposed development application. All municipal and county permits and approvals granted for the proposed development are subject to review by the Pinelands Commission. And then in bold, it says, no permit or approval shall take effect, and no development may occur until the commission issues a letter indicating that the municipal or county permit or approval may take effect.
Also
And
with
document's
that,
in evidence this evening.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Peters.
sir.
also with that, take in mind, the Pinelands will not give them that letter or even look any further till they get an approval for the application. Once they get an approval, and the whole thing's in a nutshell, everything they got, that goes to the Pinelands, and it's up to the Pinelands if they can move forward or not. The Pinelands has 100% jurisdiction over it.
But they cannot start until we finish. So,
Understood in this.
as it is, this application will be coming back here because we've asked a number of questions and we've asked for a number of reconsiderations. If and when we approve, then it will go to the Pinelands. If and when. But it cannot go to the Pinelands until we finish our job.
Okay. Oh, so then,
Just so you understand
do
the
you
process.
guys also make sure that, like my concern with subsection 11, right? Destroying
That's the
the trees,
Pinelands.
right?
That's the
within the
Pinelands.
Pinelands, right? Like that's probably not allowed within the Pinelands. So, like if,
So-
they're,
so-
if what they want to do conflicts
Yeah, so,
with,
so what happens is that, let's say in the event that they obtain an approval, right?
Yes, sir.
They have to supply the Pinelands with every document that Pinelands is number one requesting. They have their own application submittal form, right? So it's the site plans, it's all the variances, all the waivers, everything. So everything that we do here is there's actually a check and balancing system, so to speak, with Pinelands. So if they say, no go, then the applicant has got to come right back to us, change the whole design, they got to probably redo the plans, and then they're back to square one with a whole brand-new application because it's substantially changed.
And we
Okay.
appreciate your asking these questions because I think it's very helpful, not just for us, not just for you, but there are people on Zoom who are listening, I hope, and they will learn something tonight because
Yeah.
of your questions.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm a lifelong resident. I grew up here, elementary school, kindergarten,
I'm
everything.
55 years. I don't think you can catch up with that one.
You look phenomenal, respectfully. I would like to buy land here, so I really hope and raise a family here one day. So I really hope you
Thank
guys
you.
take a lot of these comments seriously. And we have a planning board for a reason. Like there's rules for a reason. There's ordinances for a reason. Not
We know.
everybody
We know
needs an
We know very well.
yeah.
And also remember now, if the Pinelands does say they have to do more and have to come back here, when they come back here and get another approval, they got to go back to the Pinelands again for the
Again.
final
Yep.
approval. You can't get around that. And I think tonight showed anybody here or watching on TV, whatever they're doing, that this board in a whole, when it comes to a waiver here, a waiver there is one thing. When you come in with, I lost count of them, as I said earlier,
Yeah.
how many waivers, you're going to see, in most cases, there's going to be, come back and fix it.
Well, I appreciate that. And then I will just apologize for any disrespect that may have been delivered or anything.
No worries.
No worries.
Just passion. I
It's
care
a
about.
learning experience.
There's a learning curve, my friend, don't worry about it.
Awesome. Especially to the gentleman to the left of me. No hard feelings.
Thank you.
Respectfully. And Miss.
Good evening. Anyone else have any comments to make? Please come forward.
Seeing no one else come forward, move to close public comment.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Would you like to say anything in conclusion, Mr.
Just
Alfieri?
Well, it wouldn't be
Will
a
it just-
summation,
It'll
but,
be just summation for the
No,
time
no
being?
summation.
well, yeah,
no,
we're
no.
not going to do a
We're not at
summation.
that
Okay.
point yet. We just have to
We
figure
know
out
what we have to come back
scheduling.
and fix, right?
Right. So we're going to need,
How much time do you think you might need?
are there, I think we're going into next year at this point, right?
It's my guess.
Why don't we
Probably
put
be
it
safer to
on
do that. yeah.
for
Put it
the,
on reorg?
for reorg, and then we can schedule it.
Okay.
The reorg meeting is January 12th, and then
January 12th, we can reschedule.
we'll reschedule it.
So January 12th, it's going to be on for scheduling purposes only.
Yep.
So-
Correct,
Yep.
that's our
Exactly.
reorganization
And
meeting.
is the Environmental Commission reconstituted and meeting again?
Yes, it
the
is.
commissioner is not here this evening,
Who-
but,
Who's the commissioner?
the commissioner is
Ray the
Ray
third.
Tremor the third.
Oh, Reyes, okay, fine.
They
He's
were
on,
given the
uh,
plans, because I wouldn't have provided the application to Mr. Klee or Mr. Peters or Mr. Shea if they hadn't submitted, so the. so
Well,
they do have-
I think we're still waiting on a.
Yeah, they haven't responded.
But
Yeah.
we're going to submit the Phase 1, the Phase 2, the
Yes.
EIS to him
Yeah.
and to the board and
Good.
board professionals
That's
as well.
great.
And-
See how
and the
much-
traffic,
See how much nicer with the
letter.
EIS now?
Yeah.
Fits
And it-
right in.
Well, I'm sorry, what?
See how much nicer with the EIS?
Yeah,
See, fits
understood.
right in, fixes it.
So if we requested, first of all, we'll grant the board an extension of time in which to act. And secondly, you can announce that it's being carried to the 12th for
Correct.
scheduling purposes only
Yep.
without the need to renotice.
Yep.
Please.
Yep.
Thank
On
you.
the 12th, we'll
And
figure
the
out what date.
12th, we'll figure out
then
what
we'll go
we'll
from
be going
Understood.
We'll
forward.
make a
That's
public
fine.
notice. Yeah.
So you'll tell that public? Good. Tell them now,
Correct.
too, just in case.
Correct.
All right, so we're going to carry to January 12th without the need to renotice, and then you'll probably have 50 things on that night to try and figure out
One
how you're going
hopes
to...
not.
That is correct.
All right, thank you, everyone. and,
Thank you.
I
Good to see you
may
guys.
not see you until next year. Happy New Year if I don't.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, you too.
Need a
Thank you.
motion on that?
We could take a motion to.
Make a motion to carry this to January 12th for the reorganization, just to set a date for the hearing.
Correct.
Second, Heller?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions, any opposed? No? Good. Hearing nothing, we're set. We'll take the next motion.
Like to make a motion to close?
Second, Rogers.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Good evening.